here early in the morning, heart of South Philly. Let's go see what the people have got to say. I'm ready to roll if they need me.
Now listen here, Dutch. The Mets and the Cowboys, they suck.
1, 2, 3, go Birds! Go Birds! What we got? 302BIRDS, Geno State. Go Birds!
Oh my gosh, Chad.
Your favorite Chicagoan. Go Phils.
As always, God bless. Go Birds.
Get your water ice and soft pretzels ready because you are now tuned into a 302BIRDS podcast experience. Proudly presented by TickPick, Nick's Pizza, El Diablo Burritos, and Klondike Kate's on the heart of Main Street. Let's take it to the show.
We bring the boom! That's what 302BIRDS does. We bring the boom! We got the Halloween show for you today. And here we are, the 302BIRDS Halloween special. And here's my son, Big Justice. Bring the boom, son.
Hey, Dad, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing on this show tonight, talking about fucking Philly sports when the fucking Yankees are in the World Series, but I'll do my best job.
No,
Well, your great-grandmother was a Philadelphia sports fan, so that's why we're fucking talking about them. We bring the boom. That's what we do.
If you guys ever thought KJ and I's impressions were bad, get ready for tonight. Halloween special is back on 302BIRDS. We bring the fucking boom, baby.
That's what we do, son. That's what we do.
I'm really excited tonight for this. This has been a long time in the making. KJ's finally back on the show. You can't tell if he's fucking Hulk Hogan or Big AJ covering up his mustache.
You know it, brother. If I was Hulk Hogan, brother, you would know. You would know.
Freaking frack who just are no fun. They don't want to dress up. I mean, that was
Listen,
you got Josh
I'm
Block.
dressing up on Friday.
Yeah, no, he's dressing up. He's Josh Block.
Look, I don't know who Josh Block is. I'm the guy who hates his life. That's what I'm dressed up as.
I'm a guy who hates Halloween because Halloween is the worst holiday out there. It's a
you have
wasted holiday.
You have a big dump.
It's
in your
stupid
pants.
as shit.
You have a big dump in your pants.
I can't wait.
You
You know what I'm gonna
big
do?
dump in your pants.
You know what I'm gonna do on Friday? I'm gonna start.
You know what? We don't care what you're gonna do. We don't care. We're gonna bring the boom over here. We're gonna have a good Halloween show because we bring the boom.
I wanted to know, Dad, I wanted to know what he was
boom.
gonna do on Friday.
It's what we do.
I don't understand who they are. Like I don't
You're gonna piss your
understand
pants at this in like a year or two when you finally catch up on your slow ass Wi-Fi in Maryland, Josh. When you finally get the joke. But let's
I
not
pay
do
$91 a month for my
This isn't
Wi-Fi.
Jimmy Fallon with the Rizzler. Let's get right into it. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We got a lot on the slate of the Halloween special. And I just want to start. These are all the good parts about this Halloween special.
Tyler, what? Dad, this guy's making me uncomfortable.
Who's Josh Block?
Hey, seriously, Dad, what the fuck is going on with the Philadelphia 76ers this year? They suck ass.
Well, I'll tell you what it is, son. We freaking suck and we're a horrible franchise. We lie to our fans. Our owner needs to sell a team. And honestly, we're a disgrace to basketball. That's what we are. And honestly, too, I'll tell you this. Shaquille O'Neal is a real basketball player. Joel Embiid's just a punk. He wishes he was Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq is the GOAT. Joel Embiid's a bum. You know that, son? We bring the boom just like Shaquille O'Neal does. We do. We bring the boom.
No, the Sixers struggling this year with a lot of injuries. Paul George is out again. Joel Embiid's out. They launched an investigation on him. Why is he sitting out? Like I said, this season is a wash already, and it just started. We're gonna make it to the first round, maybe second round, and that's all we're gonna do. So I have no hope for these Sixers, even with the addition of Paul George. Who's the point guard we have?
Tyrese.
No, the guy we just picked up.
P. Diddy.
Oh, Pete. No, Jerry McCain.
Jerry McCain, I think he's out for the rest of the season, or maybe middle of the season come back in. But I mean, this team sucks, and I don't give two shits about the Sixers because they're just a disgraced franchise for Philadelphia, and I have no hope. Go Flyers.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. It sucks. And I was just talking to my dad about this. We were having a bite tonight. And I'll tell you this. As basketball fans, it sucks. It really sucks because we want to see a good basketball team here. And I want to be able to watch the NBA again. But I'll tell you this, it's so hard when you have a horrible owner who cares more about the Washington Commandos and the other teams that he owns. And you just have a team that won't even tell you if a guy's injured or what the heck's going on with the actual team. And I don't blame the coach for answering questions the way he did. I don't blame him at all. He's in a horrible situation with a horrible organization and a horrible owner. And it took me this long to realize that we are a joke of a franchise. And I'm sorry to myself that I didn't realize that. I didn't wake the freak up. I didn't bring the boom when I needed to. But now I brought the boom. And I noticed the Sixers are going boom. And my mustache, this is going boom.
No, it's just a disgrace to be a Sixers fan because they haven't brought us any positivity the past 5 seasons. Sure, we make it to the playoffs, but like it's not a good team. And we can say, oh, we got to rely on Joel Embiid. Well, he hasn't played a full season at all. I think if he's played a full season, we'll see a different story, but that's never going to happen. He cares more about the Olympics than he does his own team. So just at this point now, I don't even care I'm not going to even get excited if we go to the NBA Finals. I don't think we will. If we make it there, I'm not going to be excited. It's going to be the same Jack you see right now, the same energy that I have because this team is just – I'm done with them. I have been done with them.
You wouldn't be excited to win the Finals?
No, because no. That's how much they have disgraced me.
I'm cool with Joel Embiid sitting out. Like,
why is that, Josh?
Because we made the playoffs as the 1 seed and we made it at the 8 seed, and we keep losing in the second round, no matter how good of a regular season we have, because he keeps getting hurt. And because the team around him sucked.
Do you think if he played a full season, it would be a different story?
That is incapable of happening. That is not a reality.
But if it was possible, would you?
Yes.
Okay.
He can.
Okay. So
let's just go in as a late.
We went into the season the playoffs last season semi-healthy, and we still lost the first fucking round to the Knicks.
So what is this going to change?
It's not going to change anything. That's what I'm saying. These Sixers are actually ass. Like, they're not good. Yeah,
we might be back.
They're not good.
We might be back.
So
that's all
I got to say.
We
suck.
I have no issue with Joel Embiid sitting some games to stay healthy for the playoffs.
I get what he's
We're
doing.
Sixers fans. Of course, we're going to invest our emotional investment into a team to get it crushed and shattered. Oh my God, because our team is fucking ass.
That's
Seriously,
right, son. That's right.
The one thing I want to say to Josh before I fucking rip these things off. Hey, all seriousness, to all the ladies out there who fucking wear these things, ow, motherfucker. All day, I had like Alyssa put on some glue on me. That shit's ass. Seriously, to any woman that wears makeup every day, which is probably the major population, props to you because that shit is not easy. But the one thing I wanted to say down here, I'm with Josh. I'm okay with the Sixers sitting out Embiid because that's what they should be doing. They need to be pushing a different button than they have because every button that they've pushed the past couple of years hasn't worked, hasn't gotten Embiid to the playoffs healthy, which is what we need to see to be able to get that trophy, get that parade. So, in my opinion, sorry, fucking more eyelash shit on my eye. I agree with Josh. What I think that they should do is they should sit Embiid because Embiid needs to be healthy in the playoffs. I don't give a fuck about any regular season accolade. I want to just see it in the playoffs. And if we don't see it in the playoffs, Jack, I see you nodding your head backstage. At least we didn't invest 100 and however many, or it's, what is it, 80 games are in an NBA season, KJ? How many?
82.
Yeah.
82. At least you didn't invest 82 games of your time, of your investment into a team. You can just watch whatever. If we get knocked out second round, whatever, 8 games, fucking 7 games, whatever.
We should have traded him on the offseason, honestly, because he's better traded than resting and playing the playoffs because He just, to me, even if he's semi-healthy, a little healthier, he doesn't play aggressive or doesn't go for that rebound. This has been an issue with him since he's been on the Sixers, maybe the past 5 years. He's not an aggressive player. After the MVP he got, he didn't do shit in the playoffs. He did not go. He's the tallest player on the fucking court, and he did not go up for a rebound. So it's better we get rid of him. I agree with James Fratty because it's better we trade him. But again, he's old. He's unhealthy. So what are we going to get for Embiid? Nothing, because you can't really do much with an injured reserve player. Or so that's all I got to say.
Yeah, he's hurting.
I will say they should refund.
We should have traded him in the
holders.
offseason.
Yeah,
we should have traded him in the offseason if we want to get something for him. That's
but
what
it shows how mismanaged this organization is. It shows how much of a bonehead that Daryl Morey is. And I mean, I don't know about, like, I wanted to believe in this crap, but dude, I just don't know how to, because it's just tough. I mean, like, I know that like Dalt and Josh are like, well, yeah, just rest Embiid. But here's the problem though. Even though this team looks really good on paper, like the rotation wise, I don't know if they could. I mean, it depends how many games he's out. Like, we need Embiid out there. And obviously, yes, there's some problems too that Embiid will bring out. But I mean, like, he's an MVP caliber kind of player. But yes, I wish that they actually tried to trade Embiid, because honestly, some teams wanted him. I think he would have been a way better fit with the Miami Heat or something like that, because we just need to reset. We need to press the reset button and grow and honestly build this team around Tyrese Maxey, because that kid just wants to keep on playing and playing. He honestly is the next best thing we've had since Iverson. I mean, he reminds me a little bit of him, but kind of a little bit of a different game. He's got more of a floater. He's got more confidence in his three-point shot. But yeah, that's what I think when it comes to Tyrese, though. I mean, like, I love Tyrese Maxey. He is the freaking man. But Joel Embiid, though, it sucks because you see guys like Bryce Harper, Jalen Hurts, who really kind of resemble the city. They seem like they really want to try and really try and help these teams out. And then Embiid tries to like kind of embrace the city, and he's not good at that at all.
Dude, I love the Ring app. Not to be off topic here. Somebody just put on Ring, my house was hit with an egg. Motherfucker, it's mischief night. How are you not expecting that?
Oh, jeez. Here, wait, hold up.
Oh God, don't show
Hey,
me.
you little bitches, do not get me.
What were you saying before that, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, like KJ said, it's like we have never built a team around actually, that's a lie. We tried building a team around a tall body in Ben Simmons, and that didn't really work out. The only positive thing that came out of building a team around one player was, like KJ said, AI. So we tried building around Embiid. Nothing's going to happen. So I agree. Build around Maxey, which I've said. I think I was on record saying it last season that we should build around Maxey. And everyone was like, oh, no, we should keep Embiid. No, we should build around Maxey and let the rest. It's a rebuild season. Like, just let it rebuild. I mean, and go from there.
We traded for Paul George. He's old and he gets injured.
And we have
that was wild, I think. But
I agree.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
They need to give season ticket holders their money back. And the one thing I'll say before we move on and get into our Flyers talk, because I know we got Brendan backstage, is that any Sixers season ticket holders, they need to at least give a portion back of their money. Because if you would have reported it throughout the offseason and said that you were doing this, I wouldn't say refund season ticket holders. It's the fact that you guys waited until like a week or two before the season to announce all this, which I thought was kind of a sleaze bag move. Yeah. But moving on now from the Sixers,
they won't do that.
Let's talk about the next team that depresses us in the Wells Fargo Center. Brendan, how you doing tonight, man?
What's up, guys? Let's talk about the only team that matters in the Wells Fargo Center tonight.
Yeah,
that's all. Only team that matters. Don't bring the boom. Matvei Michkov is a god.
Don't bring the boom.
Generational player. He's dynamic. He's the only light to this entire city right now, besides for QB1, by the way. And I love it. Flyers are on top. Sam Ersson looks great. Backup goalies, God knows what's going on with that. But some good news. We're back 2 for 3 in the last 3.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I was at the game on Sunday, and I know they obviously made it look like it was a closer of a game because there was an empty net on Sunday. But Yeah, I mean, I got to see Mishkov play a little bit, so that was cool. But yeah, I mean, I think as you were saying before, though, I mean, like this team does have some kind of promise to them for sure. I mean, I do kind of have a little bit of belief in them.
And I think that's what people are just seeing now is they're coming to the game too late. They in the first, second period, they're slow off the bench. They're getting behind. They're not getting on the attack quick enough. And then the third period happens, and they're already down by 4 or 5 goals, and the game ends 4-5, 3-4, and they're losing. If this team can start out hot, just like any other Philadelphia team that doesn't start out hot, we'd be in a much better situation. But we're looking in a much positive direction from where we were about 2 weeks ago with this team.
Yeah, they're young and they're scrappy. They just need to stay in the fight. They really just need to like be fighting for a playoff spot by like mid-January, because that's like when the NHL like actually starts, like the games actually start to matter and stuff. So they just need to keep fighting and just keep being scrappy till then. And people in Philadelphia, like as long as you're like somewhat close to playoff contention, Philadelphia will show out for you, especially when like expectations aren't that high. Not that they aren't that high for Flyers, but like, you know, Philly will show more out if the Flyers are in playoff contention than if the Sixers are in playoff contention, because like it's expected less.
Yeah, that's what worked out for us last year. We didn't really expect much. Like I said a couple episodes ago, we didn't really expect much out of the Flyers last season. They almost made it to the playoffs. So I really do think, you know, this team is definitely a lot better. Mitchkov is a fucking god. But we just gotta, you know, keep grinding. I'm still gonna keep my hopes low to turn out for the better. But yeah, I'm excited. That's the only team in Wells Fargo that actually matters right now. Philadelphia Wings, they're pretty good too.
Do they still play there?
I think so. I think
they bring the circus around there every once in a while too.
Yeah. Do they actually?
Oh, maybe. Who knows at this point anymore.
Wait, circus? Did you say circus?
Either the circus of Barnum Bailey's or the Sixers, the same damn thing at this point.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I'm excited to see what this young team can do. Like Josh said, scrappy. Love it.
Yeah, I think, Jack, you hit the nail on the head with just low expectations, no expectations, see what happens. Like, you have an average age, I think, of like 24, 25. Your best player is 18, 19 years old. You have a guy coming up like Jet Luchenko, who just got sent back down to get a little bit more developed, who's only 18 years old, the youngest Flyer to ever start a game in the Flyers history, which is insane in itself. Definitely some things that they need to look into, whether it's the defense not protecting the goalies. I think that was Alexei Kolosov's biggest downfall over the weekend. He let up 4 goals. I think he was 27 for 23, somewhere around there. 3 of those 4 goals were bullshit. If the defense played, I think he honestly might have only given up 1 or 2. But the one that Cole Kaufman of the Canadians, I think it was a wrist shot from the point, definitely should have had that one. I think that's a rookie mistake. He only has 6 games in North American, and just under his belt altogether. He's only played 6 games for the Phantoms. So we'll see what happens with him. Another big question mark right now is Ivan Fedotov, the backup goalie behind Urson. Whatever happens with Kolosov, whatever happens with Fedotov, the expectations were there, but it's a never-ending revolving door of goaltenders in Philadelphia. So hopefully Sam Urson can get another 2, 3, 15 years in, and we'll see what happens from there, man. But I love the way this team looks. I think John Tortorella is a god in itself from the way he coaches this team, the way that he brings the energy to Philadelphia. It's absolutely insane. And him and I think Mitchkov are going to be here for a long time together.
They definitely have a good core, and it's exciting to see. It's definitely going to be one thing, too, like you guys both alluded to. Give it time. It's not going to happen overnight, especially with young guys. You know, you need to sometimes give them time to develop. I know an honorary Flyers fan will be somebody that's commenting on this video. He's probably got a Flyers jersey somewhere in his collection, Matt Bear. And yeah, Matt, Sixers are not looking too good. They honestly got the L, so that's not ideal.
You lost to Tobias Harris.
Yeah, give us the rant,
You
Big
lost
AJ.
to Tobias Harris. Oh, my God. What a disgrace. That man stole money from the organization. Honestly, kudos to him for actually smarting out this franchise, this bum-ass franchise that I happen to believe in somehow. Oh, my God. Somebody just honestly just shoot me. Honestly,
I know that's what it feels like being a Sixers fan.
with a
Seriously.
water gun. All right, for all the people that are like, oh,
With the
it's
water
good
gun,
team.
yeah, with the water gun. Thank you for saying that so we don't get flagged. But I do want to thank Brendan for coming on here to talk Flyers with us. We appreciate you, man, and hope you have a happy
Absolutely.
Halloween too.
Absolutely. You guys as well.
Thanks,
See
bro.
you,
Have a good
Brendan.
one.
Take care, guys.
He pronounces those like foreign vowel names.
Yeah, he does. He does pretty.
He
well.
knows his hockey well. He's a true hockey fan.
does.
So
He's got that vowel. Like
now the next topic is not really something that we usually talk about in both aspects, being unfortunately when players pass away, but also when the union in general. I mean, we don't really talk about the union, but I did want to take a second, as we do for all Philly sports athletes, no matter the sport, to just take a second here, a moment of silence on the podcast to honor Holden Trent and rest in peace. That was not. But yeah, really unfortunate. I don't know if anybody has anything that they want to share. I just wanted to take a second to make sure we did that this week with the news.
I heard
Obviously,
about it on I think it was Saturday, and I heard and I told my family, I was like, "Hey, a Union player just passed away," and I said he's like close to my age. So we were both born in 1999. So it is kind of scary to think that a guy my age passed away like that. Apparently, it was something. It was a health reason. So yeah, that's what I heard about. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, and my prayers go out to any Union fans or any of Holden Trent's family or friends. I mean, it's a sad situation for sure, and obviously the whole Philadelphia Union organization is probably really feeling it right now for sure. So it's pretty sad.
yeah, it's never ideal when somebody young passes away. But like I said, I wanted to just make sure. I know the show as a whole kind of unserious note tonight with Halloween, but I wanted to make sure we took a second to do that because we do pay our respects on this podcast to any Philly sports athlete. But moving on to a more lighter topic. So obviously everybody saw the game on Sunday. Philadelphia Eagles wideouts had an insanely great game. They had a big day. If I was there, KJ, I would have given him a chicken bacon, a double chunk chocolate cookie.
A double chunk chocolate cookie.
These guys looked legit. They looked in tune. And I think I heard Ray Dittinger say it today on 94.1, something along the lines of they had 11 receptions between these two guys and they were targeted 13 times. Yeah, there you go. 11 receptions. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith were getting the ball a lot equally. I mean, you could pretty much see stat for stat right there too. But the thing that I like to see was that catch to Devontae Smith. When he released that ball, that was, like he said, I think Jalen Hurts' longest airtime throw of his career. It was something like 60 yards from the point where he launched it to the point where he landed it in the NFL in his NFL career, which is insane. And that was the moment that I actually looked at the TV. I looked at myself and I said, "We're back. We are so back." They played a clean game. They played a smart game. Defensively, they've been in tune the past 3 weeks. And offensively, as you guys can see, it's not just Saquon Barkley. I mean, a 75-plus yard day for two of your star wide receivers. If you told a team that, hey, you're going to have two 75-yard wide receivers week by week, and you have 17 games throughout the year, each guy's going to go for 1,200 yards. That's nuts. That is nuts. So the fact that they're obviously not going to be on pace to do that, but I think both of them were 1,100-yard receivers last year too. So it's great to see that Jalen Hurts knows how to get the ball to these guys, and it's really nice to see. I mean, just these guys. There was another chart I'm going to pull up here in a second too. Jack?
Why is Dad? Why is Jack shaking his head like that?
Because I told all your motherfuckers that this team is good. This team is going to be good. They are struggling right now because it's new defense coordinator. It's a new offense coordinator. It's going to take some time. So we were never gone. We just had a rough start, and we are a great team. Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. Saquon Barkley is a phenomenal running back. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith are great wideouts. So we never left. It's just that's why it pisses me off because as a Philadelphia fan, I've never been this way. but most fellow Philadelphia fans think that the world's burning because we had a close game with the fucking Browns. We lost to the Falcons. You're not going to win every fucking game.
Yeah.
And this team is a great team. Jalen Hurts is a great team. We saw Jalen Hurts out of the pocket. We saw him playing like he actually belonged and like he's having fun out there. And it takes some time for these new coordinators. It's not going to be like magic that our offense is going to be running like a well-oiled machine. Same with the defense. It's clean football. He hasn't had a turnover the past 3 fucking games. So all the haters saying, oh, this team sucks. I'm going to fuck it. The season's over. Fuck you guys, because they've never been gone and they never will go anywhere. This team is good, and they're going to make a drive and a run to go to the playoffs and potentially the Super Bowl. So that's all I got to say. It just pisses me off that we were like that.
Well, that was mostly Tommy. That was mostly Ballpark. Remember that? That was mostly
I'm not saying on the podcast.
He's not saying, he's saying Philly fans in general. Yeah.
No, but
he's not wrong.
I
Like the
remember it
media
was Tommy,
too,
though.
especially and not to throw any outlets under the bus. They all do it. But pretty much every big name Philly sports media outlet at least had a couple guys that were saying the season's over, the season's shot. And still has some guys that think Jalen Hurts is not the guy. I think John Ritchie on 94.1 on the morning show said that he doesn't think Jalen Hurts will be our QB in 2027. Not because he's going to go sign with another team. He thinks that Jalen Hurts will be a backup on another team, which is shocking to me, baffling to me. I just think anybody that plays that clean of football, oh, there you go. Some bromance going on right now. But I want to show this chart to everybody that's watching too. This shows quarterback efficiency in the NFL through 2024. You got your EPA per play, basically your efficiency per play, what measures your passes, rushes, and penalties. And then you got your completions percentage above expected on the bottom. And then, they kind of got to fuck around and find out chart here. I forget what that's called. An XY. What is this called again, Josh? What kind of chart?
Jesus Christ. It's just a
XY axis. I had it. I just needed some help.
Axis is just a graph.
It's a line. It's a line graph.
Do you mean a slope intercept for him?
I don't fucking know. All right. To the people on Spotify, God bless y'all for sitting here playing fucking Pictionary with us tonight. But basically, to the people that are watching online, I find one thing awesome. I know how to read a graph. I can tell you that. And you usually want to be at the top right on these kind of graphs if they're good, and you want to be at the bottom left if they're bad. So this is obviously one where you want to be good, and Jalen Hurts is at the very top right, which is fucking nuts. If you look at his efficiency and his what's the other word I was looking for? It begins with the E. I'm drawing a blank.
Elongation.
No, not then.
Efficiency, effectiveness.
Effectiveness. Thank you. Yeah. His effectiveness and his well, that's actually the same word. What am I saying? Anyway, the point is, this guy's a difference maker on this team right now. He's been a difference maker the past 3 weeks. I don't know what the fuck has gotten into him since the bye.
AJ Brown. AJ Brown. We're undefeated with AJ Brown playing. That's the only difference right now.
But AJ Brown was there last year when he still sucked for a stretch of it. It's been since November 5th last year that this team wasn't playing with this kind of attitude, this kind of swagger. And it's because this guy wasn't playing with that kind of attitude and that kind of swagger. And he's finally playing like the same player that he was. It took some patience. And don't expect this every game, too. There's ups and downs with QBs. They're playing in the National Football League. So as long as he's not turning over the ball, I don't really care what the stats look like. I just want to see more clean football. That's what I've really liked from Jalen Hurts, has been the clean football the past 3 weeks. So big KJ, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah. It was an amazing game to watch for sure. And I mean, just see the whole offense just click like that. That was great to see. But Jalen, I mean, he was rock and rolling. I mean, he was 16 for 20. He had 1 passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns. His QBR was
brother. He had 3 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, 3. Yeah, wait, 3? Was it 3?
Yeah, he had 3.
Oh, 3. Okay, my bad. I read it wrong. Jeez. 3. He had 3 rushing touchdowns, and then he had 236 yards passing. So, I mean, it was a good day for him. And, I mean, this team, I mean, you played a pretty decent Bengals team, and I know people are like, oh, well, the Bengals suck. Oh, well, the Bengals had some really bad games this year. They lost to the who was it? They lost to some team that was, really bad. I'm trying to think who it was. But it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, yeah, Jalen looked really good out there. He was getting the ball to AJ. He was getting the ball to Devontae, which we thought like in the Giants game, we were like, oh, he's just giving it to AJ. He's not even looking for Devontae. And Devontae had a really quiet day. But it looked like he was able to get the ball to Devontae, AJ. He was actually able to get the ball to Grant Calcaterra, which was great to see. So that was cool. And obviously you saw Saquon, I mean, not get as many touches as we wanted. He didn't get a touchdown in the game, but honestly, though, he didn't seem to care at all because he's a team player, and this team just cares about the team itself. They just want to see a win, and that was a great team win. It's especially a confidence booster for sure, I think.
Yeah,
so it was good to see.
Yeah. We're on the
Jack's right. I didn't know that he had 3 touchdowns. I forgot that. That's fucking nuts. That's like fucking – what was the name of the Raiders QB again?
Who?
Russell?
Jamarcus Russell. Yes.
That's like what Jamarcus Russell was supposed to be. Cam Newton type numbers. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've really locked in since then. So we'll see if they can keep it up. But moving along now to our next topic here, which the Philadelphia Eagles have been playing insane football. And their defense has definitely made this one for the history books. Obviously, as you guys know, we've never won a game away in Cincinnati. So also in Baltimore, for you guys who don't know that. So the Eagles have an opportunity to end both of those curses this year. We play December 1st in Baltimore, I think, off the top of the dome. But it's definitely a win for the history books. This one felt good for me. This one felt good for you guys. This one felt good for all real Eagles fans because it feels like their defense is finally led by the right guy again. Like I had the same feeling with Vic Fangio that I had with Jim Schwartz, which is just, you know what you're doing. You've been around the block. You're a little bit older, which at first with Vic Fangio, I didn't think was a good thing because just some of the things we were hearing out of camp with the players, but they've really settled in. The defense has settled in. They've respected Vic Fangio. And I think that now that he finally has the buy-in from all these guys, you guys are seeing a different team too. Just look at the way that they're tackling too. I don't know if it was a drill that he did or if he's getting truly more buy-in, but this team and this led by this defense and led by Jalen Hurts is playing different. Obviously, A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley are both a huge part of that, like Josh and KJ both alluded to. But man, oh man, what a big win.
No, I mean, I don't want to be morbid about this, but it kind of like is helpful that Darius Slay went down on injury because then we saw our rookie step up. We saw Cooper DeJean. We saw Quinyon Mitchell. Isaiah Rodgers, who was a great player for the Colts and then was sat out a season for betting. He had a great tip drill to CJ GJ. And that is what Eagles defense is. I mean, they were not missing a step. We were getting our hits. We were playing really good defense. And I think one thing why this defense looks a lot better is because, like I said, Vic Fangio has now had 8 weeks to work with these players. And I think now from here on out, we'll see a different defense than we did the first couple weeks because now we know how Vic Fangio is calling the plays, where he wants his players. So I think we will see a different defense. And I think this is a good thing for us that Darius Slay, even though he's a great player, is down because we were, wanted to see the rookies step up and do something. So Cooper DeJean is, crazy. That pursuit tackle he had on Jamar Chase was amazing. I mean, I watched the highlights of that game, and the fact that he just kind of followed him like a QB spy and then just jumped it, that's great football. And that's what we need if we want to be successful, especially, getting later in the season.
And we're tackling now. If you look at that Bucs game, the tackling was spooky bad. Yeah. But now we're tackling again. That's really good. Nakobe Dean, really good player. He's always in the right position. Was not good at tackling early in the season. He's tackling a lot better now. A lot better. And it also helps that we're playing some really, really bad offensive lines, kind of get the boys' confidence up, kind of get them flying around out there.
But Josh, this season, especially in NFL, is a weird season because all of these, average defenses and offenses and are we expect them not to do great, but then they win. Like we saw the fucking Browns beat the Ravens. So like I think this is a weird season. Can't really jet it off of that we're playing shitty defense. I think it's just a weird.
Our defense has only played one bad game.
Or shitty offensive line. So
our defense has only played one bad game, in my opinion. So, and if you remember that Bucs game, it was 14-0, and then we actually got the ball back, but then they called a BS pass interference penalty that made that drive keep going. So that was 21-0, and then the whole punt thing. So our defense actually didn't play as bad in that game as it looked. They were just really bad tackling in that game. So our defense is good. Vic Fangio is the consummate bend don't break defense, which is what wins you games in the NFL now, because the offenses are so high flying that people are scoring touchdowns. If you can, all you really need is a good red zone defense, which we have to win games.
I agree.
Yeah, they know when to lock in, which is great. And moving along now to our next topic, which is actually a preview that we had before this weekend. Birds got a big home game this Sunday. And before we get into the segment, this will actually count as our call-in for the week. So KJ and I had an opportunity to do a pretty cool interview a second ago. So we're going to show you guys on El Diablo's behalf that interview here.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking how your day is, but their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo burritos and tell them that 302 Birds sent you. God bless.
What's going on, 302 Birds Nation? Got a special segment for you guys tonight. Now, as you guys know, we're getting ready to play the Jaguars on Sunday, so we wanted to bring the best Jaguars fan we could find. Captain Duval, how you doing tonight?
Hi there. Pleasure to be here, and this is really good. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on, and thankfully it looks like technology is more our friend now. So I'll just get right into the question. Are you nervous about the game this weekend? Are you excited? How you feeling?
I am very nervous about the game, particularly with the Jaguars' injuries. Injuries have plagued us for the whole year, and so they continue. So I have no expectations for the Jags on this game, sadly.
Now, how about Doug Peterson? I know that's obviously something we share. A lot of Eagles fans are talking about how we don't want Doug Peterson to get fired because of us on Sunday. Do you think if you guys lose, Doug's job is safe for the season, or what's your take on that?
I like Doug Peterson. I think it would be a mistake to lose him. I just don't think it helps to just sack the coach because they're having a tough time. That just makes things even worse. So he's a good coach. He's gone all the way with you guys, and maybe one day he'll go all the way with us too. So there are other members of the teams, like Press Taylor, for example, which may be not so safe, but I wouldn't want to see Doug go.
So KJ had a good question for you. I'll let him.
Yeah, so Captain Duval, I wanted to ask you, what was the first thing that really got you into the Jacksonville Jaguars? Was it the presence of them in London, or was it just a certain player, or like your favorite Jaguars player?
You hit the nail on the head. Okay. The Jags have been coming to London. This is the 11th year they've been coming to London. And so it's the ideal opportunity for people over here in this country and in the whole of Europe to be able to see their team every year. So that's the reason I support the Jags, because I can see them for real every year if I so choose.
That's awesome. That's a great story for sure. Who's your favorite Jaguar you've seen play, or favorite Jaguar of all time?
Well, favorite Jaguar of all time has got to be Tony Baselli, the one and only Hall of Famer that the Jags have.
Great answer.
Yep. So in terms of current players, you know what? I'm really jumping on the bandwagon with old BTJ. He's incredible. I mean, it beggars belief that he's a rookie, and you'd never believe that when you see him play each week. Sadly, we may not see him play this week, but we'll have to wait and see.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, those are all great answers. I want to ask you as well. So for the Jaguars, do you think that the Jaguars' future is bright once they get what do you think is holding back the Jaguars right now? Because I personally, the Jaguars I have all my NFL teams ranked because I'm a weirdo. So the Eagles are obviously one, but 1 to 32. And as you can imagine, the one with the star is number 32. But the Jaguars are pretty high up on my list. Love watching the Jaguars. I've loved watching them for a while. It felt like you guys were close a couple years ago with Blake Bortles, Jalen Ramsey, that whole core.
Yeah.
What do the Jaguars need to do to get back to that?
Well, I mean, they've got the weapons. You know, the way I look at it is they've got all the parts to a really lethal weapon. They just need to figure out how to assemble that weapon, you know, and learn how to fire it. I mean, they've got the names, they've got the talent. They just need to put them together to, you know, so it beggars belief, you know, that like every team, I suppose, going into, you know, coming out of the preseason, everybody's thinking, oh, this is the year we're going to be really great. And indeed, I thought that. But I suppose it's injuries. You just don't know. So I don't really have an answer for you. I mean, they just need to figure out how to play as a team. That's basically it.
Yeah, well said. I think in any sport, in any aspect, the teams that know how to play like a team, that have chemistry off the field, that's evident. You know, you can see that throughout the whole game, throughout the whole season. So hopefully, you know, one of our two teams, I'll say, is in a Super Bowl this year. I would love to see it. Captain Duval, I want to thank you for jumping on here with us, giving us your time of day. And can you let the people know where they can follow you on Instagram too? You guys got to give them a follow.
Yes, I'm on Instagram. Just look for Captain Duval with 3 U's and you'll see me there.
Hey, well, we appreciate you for jumping on. We wish you the best of luck this weekend in the game to you and your Jaguars. We hope you have a great evening.
We will need it.
Well said. Legend. That guy was a ton of fun. He's awesome. If you guys don't, like we said, give Captain Duval a follow on Instagram. He's probably one of our favorite, if not our favorite Jaguars fan. But KJ, I mean, how are you feeling about the game this weekend? And what was it like interviewing Captain Duval?
Oh, it was a complete honor. And I mean, I've always seen him before, especially at the London games. I think he goes to the London games, even if it isn't the Jaguars, if I'm not mistaken. But he's like the number one guy you see there at Wembley Stadium or at any London stadium they played at as well. I apologize for not knowing the other stadium's name, but that's the only stadium I really know in London. But yeah, he's just like the face of I feel like NFL Europe over there, and he's a great representation, and he's even a better person. I'll tell you that. He's an awesome guy, really nice guy. Doesn't seem like he has any mean bone in his body at all. So it was really cool to hear his story, and we also got some stories off camera as well, which were really cool. So yeah, I mean, it was a complete honor. So it was cool interviewing him, and it's going to be a really good game for the Birds. I really feel like he's right about it. I think the Jaguars are coming into a very hostile environment. And I mean, I know the stereotypes and everything like that, but honestly, what I mean by that is they're coming into a place where a team has so much confidence right now. They got 3 wins in a row. They beat a pretty good Bengals team. So I think the Eagles are going to come out rocking and rolling, and hopefully they keep it going the whole game. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's going to be awesome. And that place is going to be bleeding in Kelly Green. So that's going to be great to see.
Can I just say the fucking Yankees suck? They were up 5-0 and now it's tied 5-5. So fuck you, Matt Bear.
Yeah, Jesus. Wow. That is horrible. Now.
Yeah, that's god awful. But yeah, this is gonna be a good game. Love Dougy P coming back to Philadelphia. He gave us our first Super Bowl. So it's gonna be, you know, bittersweet as we saw. Was it last year, 2 years ago when he came back? But yeah, it's the Kelly Green Day. It's the Kelly Green week. Fuck Halloween. It's Kelly Green week. I love it. Christmas music starts for me on Friday. But yeah, this is going to be a good game. I mean, obviously, on paper, we look like a better team. And I think with us winning 3 games in a row, I think it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a tight game. I'm not going to get – because here's the thing. We get all caught up that, oh, the Jaguars aren't that great of a team, or just in general, the teams that we play aren't a great team. But then they give us like a pissing match, as we like to call it. So I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I hope it is, but I think it's going to be a closer game. But I'm excited to see, Saquon Barkley in the Kelly Green jersey, CJ in the Kelly Green jersey, the rookies. So this is going to be an exciting weekend, and I truly can't wait for us to take it to the Jaguars and win the game. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And quick question: Did he tell you guys, Captain Duval, why or when he started wearing the Jaguars get up?
11 years ago, I think he said we asked him,
around
I asked him right before we started, we said, how long have you been doing this? And he said about 11 years. When the NFL
around
first came
07 he was
over,
saying.
I think, he fell in love with it. And the Jaguars are basically officially London's team. So it's very fitting. But he was a very genuine fan, a very genuine guy, and an awesome representation like our own Jamie, the Philly sports guy, of what NFL super fandom should be and how it should represent. Respectful,
We were saying how we want to
kind,
get them to collaborate
knowledgeable.
somehow. So hopefully we see that one day.
Yeah, if PSG, if you would ever like to cross with him or make content, the two of you guys would be hilarious. So we said the same thing to him. He's got a great personality, and just awesome to shoot content with. But I will say this: I'm confident in this weekend. I'm the most confident I've been all year. It's time for a Dalton hot take. You know what? Screw it. It is time.
A chicken bake hot take? Yeah, Dad. We're going to kick the shit out of the Jaguars so bad.
Because
That's
seriously,
right, son. We're going to kick the shit out of them. We're going to bring the boom to them.
I'm going to
That's
give
right.
this game 5 big booms. No, I'm not going to do all 5.
Boom,
Of course,
boom.
KJ is. But the point is, I really look at the Jaguars defense. They're the second worst defense in total yards. They're the second worst defense in TDs allowed. And they are, I believe, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that they're the second worst in defense total yards. They're the second worst in touchdowns. And let me see, I'll just look at it right now. They're tied for something else. Oh, passing touchdowns allowed. They're tied with the Panthers and the Ravens. They've all three have allowed 17 passing touchdowns, their defense, throughout the year so far, which is not very good. So, I mean, just looking at this team, the Eagles should have a heyday with the Jaguars. There should be Jalen Hurts' game, if there's any game, where Jalen Hurts passes for 4 touchdowns. Let me say that again. This should be Jalen Hurts' game, if there's any game, that he's going to pass for 4 touchdowns. Like I just said, the Jaguars are tied for the worst defense in the NFL for passing touchdowns allowed with 17. They're the second worst defense in total yards allowed. And they're also the second worst defense in, I think it's passer rating, or they're in the top 3 of passer rate. No, second worst in average passer rating, allowing an average passer rating of 111.8. That's pretty damn bad for a defense. So I'll go out on a limb on this one, gentlemen, and say I expect the Eagles to kick the shit out of the Jaguars. The part that's going to suck is when Doug Peterson is going to lose his job because of it. Then we're going to feel really bad. That's kind of what I'm not looking forward to, because he's very much on thin ice right now.
I wish you never said that, Dalton. They almost beat the Packers, who were a pretty good team. And I think, like, this is, like I said, this is the biggest fear of me is like when we say as fans that we're going to kick the shit out of a team, it usually is a close game, like the Browns game. So I hope you're right, and I'm confident in this team, but I truly do think it's going to be a closer game than we expect.
So I gotta make this chart real quick, but I did have a chart today that I made at work that kind of just highlighted the Eagles' efficiency once they get to week 8 and kind of what they have the chance to do. Really, the cruciality between week 6 to 11. That's when it really matters the most for these guys, what they do, because that's really when you're going to make a difference, make a push for the playoffs. You really know what your team is once you get to week 6. So I'm going to pull up a graphic real quick that's going to show you guys kind of a parallel. This is going to show you guys Eagles in 2017 and the Eagles in 2022, what their record looked like. And then this is going to show you guys the Eagles this year. So looking at 2017, which is on the top left, you got the Eagles were win, undefeated in that column. You
Look
look
at the
at
Washington
top,
logo.
right, and the Washington, yeah. And there's the one loss. So you look at this 6-game stretch. Sorry, I'm trying to get the better graphic up on my computer. Of course, I fumble the bag when it matters most. But these 6 weeks, I mean, are just crucial for the Eagles. I'll let one of you guys take it first, but can you guys speak kind of volumes about how important these next couple games are going to be? Because this is the finishing stretch of weeks 6 to 11. This is weeks 9 to 11.
I mean, these are the most crucial time for the Eagles. I mean, this whole season from, when we beat the who did we beat? Who was the first win out of this 3-game winning streak that we beat?
We beat
No.
the Giants and then the Browns. Wait, the Browns and the Giants.
Okay, so I truly do think, again, we have the 9th easiest schedule in the league right now. I truly do think that these next few weeks are critical and pivotal for this team. We've gotten better as a team, especially under Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore. Now we're 8 weeks into it. So, yes, these next couple of weeks from let's say week 9 to give it week 13 or 14, these are big games we need to win because we got the Jaguars, which is probably going to be it's not probably, it will be a win. The Cowboys, it's going to be a win, but it's going to be a close game. And then we have the Commanders, and the Commanders are really good this year. And I think it will solidify the rest of the season once we beat the Commanders the first game, because they're not the Commanders we're used to seeing, the past couple of seasons. These Commanders with Jaden Daniels are heating up. They had that big Hail Mary pass touchdown, which, obviously it was luck. But, these next few weeks are huge because we need to keep winning these games to set us up to win the division, because I think if we can beat the Cowboys and beat the Commanders, I think we'll be in first. We should be in first place in the league. So yes, these weeks are definitely important for us to win. That's all I got to say. This Jaguars game matters. Believe it or not, it's not a big game for us, but this game does matter because it sets us up better.
Yeah, I think it really does matter. And obviously, yeah, it's really interesting to see obviously the wins that we had in 2017, 2022. But yeah, I think Jack hit it right on the head. I think these games really do matter. And I think Jacksonville, I think you get the win. Dallas, it is at Dallas. So, and I know this year though they haven't really been good at home, but it seems like they do sometimes, like they honestly do have a pretty good record against us at their home turf. So I think it's going to be a jump ball with that game. And I just think because I just think it's always like, I think the Cowboys, I think they know the magnitude of the rivalry. They're like one of the only teams that I feel like they actually know like the rivalry of a team, know the history. So I feel like they actually might take this more seriously than we thought. And then obviously the Washington game, we'll be playing them at home on a Thursday night. That's going to be tough because Jaden Daniels is one of the he is one of the most sensational players right now in the league, and he's on a spree right now. I mean, he's just going insane. So yeah, I think these games, if you win these games, if you can win 2 out of 3 of these games, I still think this team is still a great team. They're still a confident team, and I think it's still good for the team morale for sure.
Like Cozy Bryant said, love you, Cozy, you're the man. Blowing out the Jags is a must, not just for the stats, but for building momentum. We haven't had a real statement win, pure beatdown since 2017 against the Broncos. So, yes, this needs to be a fucking bloodbath against the Jaguars. Like Cozy said, to set the momentum up, because we have the Cowboys and we have the Commanders, division rivals, and these division rival games, can go either way. So I really do agree with this, and we gotta, take note of that.
I love that take because I have this right here. Cozy, the one thing I'm looking at as I'm seeing these stats too, thank you guys for covering that so I could kind of look at this and analyze. There's one game on this list where a QB has thrown for 300 plus yards between Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz. That being the game, versus Tennessee, where they won 35-10. And the Eagles advanced to 11-1. Jalen Hurts threw for 380 yards that game. And there's 3 games on this whole list where a QB has thrown for 250 plus yards. So when you look at all these games, it's quite a lot of games, right? What's that telling you? That's telling you run the fucking ball. Don't overthink this. You got a game at home in November when it's cold against a team that's not good as a whole. They may have a very shitty passing defense, so I do expect Jalen Hurts to have a big game on that front. Do I think that it'll actually have 4 touchdowns? Maybe. It could happen. I don't know what kind of game Kellen Moore and Nick are going to call. But I will also say, if there's any game that Barkley could have 200-plus yards, it could be this game because they should call a running game. You're right, Cozy. And if they are smart about it and primarily run the ball first, this could be, like you said, that statement win that we had in 2017 when we took down the Broncos 51-23. That was the game I think Jay Ajayi, he went off for the Eagles, if I remember. That might have been his first game suiting up for us too, or his second. But that was right after the trade for him, and he just looked so good. So there's something with the Eagles and having a bye week earlier in the season. Well, not earlier. They had a week bye and then a week 7 bye. But something with 5, 7, and 10. I don't know what the fuck it is. But if this team can find their juice, if they can kind of get their momentum going right now, they're going to be in a very good spot come December. And these next 3 games are going to be a good little test. The Jaguars, who are ass. The Cowboys, who are still ass, but less ass than the Jaguars. Sorry, Cowboys fans. That's about the nicest way I can say that. And then you have Washington.
Say sorry to a Cowboys fan.
Don't say sorry. I never say sorry to my uncle or my cousins.
There's a couple of them I respect.
Screw you
Their
guys,
team still
honestly.
fucking sucks. But then you got the Washington Commanders third, who I think, like Jack and KJ both said, Jaden Daniels is legit. He's a good QB. He had that Hail Mary the other night. Now, do I think that the Eagles are the better team compared to the Commanders? 100%. Should the Eagles win that game? 100%. We're going to be hosting them at home as well on Thursday night football, which that's going to be a nice little test for Jalen Hurts. And if you look at that, if the Eagles can advance to that, then they're going to go from 5-2 to 6-2 to 7-2 to 8-2. The Eagles could be an 8-2 football team come mid-November. I thought that would never happen come at the end of September. I don't think maybe some of you did. Jack fucking riding his high horse tonight all night on the podcast. He fucking probably did. Fucking psychic ball over there, whatever he has in Maryland. But I think me, KJ, and everybody else in the area didn't give up on the Eagles, but thought, wow, okay, this team really dug themselves deep in a hole early with these 2 losses that they shouldn't have had. That Saquon drop really stung. And they are digging. They're digging along, digging themselves out of this hole and doing a good job. But I think what they're doing that's smart too is they're taking it game by game. They're playing smart. They're giving the ball to guys that matter in each game. You saw Saquon was the game plan against his old team. They're knowing when to get buy-in and emotion from these guys and turn these guys up right. So if they make a big trade, if they go out and pull the trigger on somebody right now, I think that they're going to be in a pretty good spot. Sometimes it's worked out for them. Sometimes it hasn't. Like wasn't Robert Quinn, was that the year after the Super Bowl or was that the year of?
No, that was last year.
That was last year? Wow.
I think, right, Jack?
Together.
Wasn't that last year or the year before?
What?
Robert Quinn 2 years ago?
For the
Eagles when he got signed out of nowhere?
We got him from the Bears.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
Last year, yeah.
My point being, I like when the Eagles make these trades. Jay Ajayi worked out, Robert Quinn didn't. But at least try. Go, and I don't know how big of a name you can get or what kind of package you're going to be able to make because that guy, Howie Roseman, when he picks up his phone and makes that call and dials up that number and makes that trade, we don't know what's going to happen. So if they make some kind of pivotal move, I'm going to be excited.
It was 2022, so 2 years ago.
So it was the Super Bowl year, right?
No. Oh, yeah, I guess, right?
I don't remember him having an impact in the Super Bowl, but I kind of briefly remember him being on the team. Wasn't he injured? I think he was injured at the time.
He was injured.
He was.
And
there you go.
Yeah,
so
look,
sometimes it works out for you. Sometimes it doesn't work out for you. Sometimes you get a running back that's going to rush for 200 yards. Sometimes you get a guy that's going to be injured in the Super Bowl when you needed him to be a key piece for you. Happens.
Yep.
So we'll see. But But a big game coming up on Sunday. KJ, you'll be there. How are you feeling about all of it?
I'm feeling good. As I was saying before, yeah, I think it's going to be. They should dominate this game. They really should go out there and punch the Jaguars in the mouth. Not literally. I don't really condone any violence like that, but I'm just saying in football terms. So yeah, I think you know what, you really try and get the run the ball, try and get the Saquon, try and get the AJ, trying to get the Devontae, get everybody involved, just like how you did. I mean, it worked for you in Cincinnati. Might as well work back at home against another cat team, I guess you can say, the Jaguars instead. So me out of them, I guess, but they're going down.
I would personally like the Eagles to trade for an edge rusher. I know Myles Garrett and Max Crosby are out of our league, and they're probably not going to budge on them unless we offer some kind of insane package. Don't want Jeffrey Simmons. I've been seeing some rumors of that, or the other. I think it's Harold Landry is the other guy. Uche from the Patriots just went to the Chiefs, so the Chiefs are making the right moves at the right times. Like, you don't know if these moves are going to work out, but when they make them, I mean, it's a gamble and it's a risk. But I like when teams at least try, because I'm used to the Phillies who really just don't seem to try. So I don't know.
It'd be great to get Myles Garrett. It'd be insane to get Myles Garrett. That would be. I think that's the move you got to make. And if you got to give some maybe a second round pick, maybe even a first round pick, I say give it. That's fine, because to get a guy like Myles Garrett, a future Hall of Famer, dude, do it. You got to do it.
I personally, even though he's a piece of shit as a player, he's kind of an asshole. I'm not a big fan of him. I would not mind Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney is old, but last year he had one of his best seasons on the Ravens. So I think, do a 1-year deal. I think that would be the edge rusher we need. Or honestly, even Chase Young. I know he hasn't had the greatest, couple years, when he left the Commanders, but I'm a big fan of either Clowney or Chase Young. So that would be a huge help to get those edge rushers. Jadeveon Clowney, can help out when we need him. I think he had a few sacks last season. I think, like I said, he had his best season in the NFL last season on the Ravens. So I think those were the ones we want to spot, because they're not going to cost us as an organization a lot of money or trades. Like I said, they're old people, they're old guys, but sign them for the rest of the season, and see what he can do for us.
Yeah, I think, to kind of piggyback off that, I do feel like Chase Young, he's kind of in a bad situation with New Orleans right now. They're kind of wish-washy of a team. They go off and on. But yeah, the same thing with Jadeveon Clowney. I think, is he still with Carolina? I'm pretty sure he's still. I think he's there.
Yeah, I think so.
So they're both struggling in the NFC South right now, and I don't think either one of them would mind coming to Philadelphia, playing for the Eagles. Maybe it would have been kind of weird for Clowney, because obviously the Clowney hit on Carson Wentz that one time. So I know my dad has not forgiven Jadeveon Clowney for that hit. But yeah, it's a crazy situation. I know that they were saying that he's thinking about pressing the trade button, and next week is the trade deadline. So if you're going to press that trade button, you got to do it next week, or you know what, you're not going to hit it. So I think they will. I think they will get a trade done. I don't know if it's going to be a boom or a dome, but we'll see what happens.
Cozy's saying Amari Cooper from the Broncos.
No, not Amari Cooper, because he just went to
the Bills.
The Bills, yeah. I wonder if I'm trying to think about what Cooper he's talking about. I'm drawing a blank. I'll say
Khalil
this
Mack,
if you want to look it up real quick.
Eagles get Khalil Mack. I think that's what he's trying to say, because I guess
I'll say this. Agba would be. I looked up a couple articles. There's some that say Agba or Zadarius Smith. Credit to CBS Sports, but those are two guys that are a little bit more on a budget. Like Jack said, Chase Young would be I think somebody that would really fit this scheme in Philadelphia for what they need in an edge rusher. I mean, you look at him, you look at his body type, you look at the way he runs. He's just a picture perfect edge rusher template for something, a coach to work with, a coach to mold. He's still young. He's still early in the league. And how funny would it be if they made the trade like this week or next week, and then if he got to go play against the Commanders? So I like both those guys.
Yeah,
he met Jonathan Cooper. Cool. He met Jonathan Cooper on the Broncos. I'm looking at his stats right now. 1 sack, 0 sacks, half a sack, 1 sack, 0 sacks, 1 sack, 0 sacks, 2 sacks. This is this season. 5.5 sacks so far.
Is he second in the league then, I guess, behind Dexter Lawrence? He's up there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he has 18.5 career sacks, and he was drafted in 2021. So that's pretty good, for only being in the league for, call it 4 years.
Yeah, that's really good.
So I would not mind that. That's a good take, Cozy. I like that. So, I mean, we'll see. We shall see.
But as far as podcasting goes,
chicken bakes goes and double chunk
chocolate
cookies go.
cookies. We bring the bone.
That's
what
all we
we
got
do,
for you
Jack.
guys.
We
But
bring the
before
bone,
Jack takes us out of here, I do want to say or show actually a tradition that we show on the show. So,
happy Halloween, motherfuckers.
Well, with that being said, you saw Josh on the episode earlier tonight. Without further ado, all my ghouls and gals and boos goblins, happy Halloween for the most shitty holiday of all time. We love you guys. Appreciate you guys coming on the show tonight. But without further ado, hey, Josh, it's an outro. Hit the motherfucking outro.
What we got? 302BIRDS, Gino Stinks.
Do they have any chicken bakes in Philly?
We do, son. We have chicken